Hey, this is Night Bites, and I'm doing a YouTube video rather than a stream on Twitch today because having watched a couple of streamers and spoken to a couple of streamers who have found that the learning curve in Elite is very, very tough, I thought I would go back and revisit the training missions. I see that since I last did the tutorials, Frontier have put a bunch of training videos in there. Now, normally, I would say, go watch the training videos, it'll be fine. But one of my friends said, well, if I've got to watch a bunch of training videos that take longer than the training videos for my day job, there's something wrong. So I'm going to jump straight in on the training missions. I'm not going to use voice attack, I'm not going to use power grid, I'm not going to use any of my shortcuts and interactive tools and gadgets that make the game more fun and more engaging and a little bit easier. I'm going to use just my control sticks and keyboard and mouse. That's it. And I'm going to follow the instructions on screen, and we're going to try and play this as if we were absolutely new to the game. Let's see how we do. So we'll start with basic flight training. We're in a Sidewinder, small ship, without messing with the settings. It's kind of sluggish, but it's the basic starter vessel.
Anybody in there? Hey, pilot, do you read me? You look like you got yourself in a fix. Your ship's so dead in the water, I almost mistook it for one of these asteroids. Let me launch a repair drone, see if I can't get that crate back online. Lucky I showed up when I did. You wouldn't last long out here in your current predicament.
Okay, no, sorry, I'm not supposed to be doing things that aren't in the tutorial. I was just going to have a quick look to see if I actually was a pilot.
Okay, your power's back up and running. Some control systems are still offline, but you should have basic drive functionality now. You might want to check that your throttle's still working. Go ahead and set your throttle, Commander.
Okay, that's the control stick doing that, but it's telling me to do it on W and S. So, I've centered my throttle stick. That's not going to go
Take your
anywhere.
time, pilot. It's not like I have anything more important to do.
Shut up. Shut up, Blaze. Blaze, Blaine.
Well, that's a result. We might just get this rust bucket space-worthy. Drone repair sequence is still running on your ship. You're lucky I had these things. They're not what you'd class as standard equipment. Your attitude control should now be active. See if you can pitch your ship up and down. Give it a go.
Let's just get a little bit closer to Blaine for a minute. So each up, down on the
You
WS
still there?
is
Am I talking to myself?
kind of a graduated thing. There we go. So we are pitching up and down on
That
the
looks to
stick.
be in working order. Let's see if we can get you rolling again. Okay, you should be able to give it a try now. Spin your ship on its central axis using your roll controls.
Okay, let's roll.
Good job, Commander. One final axis of control and you should be good to go. Yaw is back online now. Why don't you try pivoting your ship from side to side?
Okay, that's left yaw
That's it,
and
Commander.
right yaw.
It would appear you have a semi-operational Sidewinder on your hands. I wouldn't take any chances, though, so you best get that ship into dock for repairs. There's an outpost nearby. See if you can make it there.
Okay, we've now been given a target ahead.
I guess now might be a good time to introduce myself. My name's Blaine.
Hi, Blaine.
I'm something of a freelancer in these parts. You know, this could be a lucky break for both of us. I've been looking for a business partner, someone to help me with potentially lucrative ventures. And you need someone to take you under their wing, show you the ropes, so to speak. I have to say, it's not often I help out strangers like this, so I think you owe me one. The least you can do is buy me a Levy and brandy. I'll see you at the outpost, Commander.
Blaine, will you stop talking so I can talk to the audience, please? Thank you. Right, so press B with a circle or T to target what's ahead. The B with the circle is a button on my joystick. So it's pulling the commands and the controls out of your settings, even if you set some custom ones. That's fine. So it should tell you what controls you should be using for your setup. So let's max out the throttle. And okay, this isn't the most agile of ships, I'll give it that. It's a Sidewinder, it's your starter ship. It's not bad. It's not a sea slug. But it's not going to set you alight. But this is the tutorial, and to be honest, once you get into the main game, you probably won't be in a Sidewinder for long. speaking of the main game, don't get too attached to Blaine. I think once you've done the tutorials, with Elite being a sandbox game, you go out, do your own thing. Blaine is going to be nowhere to be seen. She's just here to get you through the tutorials. I've already targeted ahead once. See? It's there in the bottom left. So, again, things it doesn't tell you. Your current target is the bottom left-hand part of your navigation screen there, or main dash panel, I suppose it is. Your status is kind of the right-hand side. The 3 rings are your shields. That 39% you can see, that's your hull status. So we've had a bit of a battering. The 3 bars are systems, engines, and weapons. Systems being shields. So we're kind of balanced power between all 3. We'll probably come to that when we come to combat later on. For this, we've completed the first training. So let's go back to training and look at the second one. Training missions. Docking and travel. Okay, we've now docked at Romanek's Folly.
Hey, Commander. Now it's time for you to help me out. I need you to do a cargo run for me. Ordinarily, I'd take care of this myself, but I'm not on the best of terms with the security forces over in Azeban City, so you're gonna have to take my place. When you're ready, return to the surface to take your ship out of the hangar. I'll keep in contact with you as you make your way there.
Select return to surface to exit the hangar. And how do we do that? Okay, use num5 or the down marker thing. Like that. Again, they are for me custom keybinds, so it will use whatever keybinds you have there. Return to surface. So we'll use the same buttons to select launch. Now, thing to remember before I hit launch, and she's going to yell at me for it, is try and zero your throttle when you're docked. Because
this cargo won't deliver itself, you know. Launch your ship, Commander.
Once your docking clamps are released, your ship will jump to whatever the throttle setting was last. So if that's full ahead, it's going to bounce me straight off that thing in front of us. I think I zeroed it, but I can't remember. Let's see. Yeah, zeroed.
Ship is released. You can use your vertical thrusters to clear the landing pad. By the way, try not to end up as wall decoration on your way out.
Again, vertical thrusters are customizable in terms of controls. You've actually got an up, down, a left, and a right. It's probably worth familiarising yourself with the mappings. At the moment, it's just saying use up. So that's what we're using here to get around. So you use R to gain height. So yeah, for me it's R, F, R and F and up and down. I've got no idea what left and right are because again I've got them mapped to my joystick. There's a lot of the default mappings I haven't touched, so R and F, up and down, will get you started. I do recommend going through and, if you can, customising the controls to what's comfortable for you. Everyone's different.
Okay, you're clear of the access corridor. Your ship's still mass-locked by the station. Once you get beyond 5 kilometers, you'll be able to make the jump to Supercruise.
Okay, landing gear must be retracted to jump. What's the button for landing gear then? Tell me. Use insert to retract landing gear. And there goes the landing gear. The ship now speeds up. So having the landing gear down really slows you down. We've now got to get 5k away from the station to clear the mass lock.
Clear of mass lock, Commander. You're good to charge up your frameshift drive now. Just hold on tight.
So mass lock is a mechanism the game uses to restrict to a certain degree jumping. So the big stations, you've got to get outside of their mass lock to jump. Big ships can cause smaller ships to be mass locked, or can cause their jump drive to take much longer to charge up. So that everything is gravity based, and when you jump, you arrive at the other end facing the most dense object in the system, which is going to be either a star or a black hole. We'll see that in just a second. Okay, press J or I to charge the FSD. FSD being frame shift drive, frame shift the mechanism to get into Super Cruise and to jump between systems.
Great. Your ship is in Super Cruise. This is the best way to hop around a system, but you need to go a little bit further afield. Start by plotting a route for Iranen on your left-hand nav panel.
Okay, use A or 1 to view the left-hand panel. Bam! So left-hand panel gives us navigation, transactions, contacts, sub-targets and inventory. Inventory? Didn't realise that was on there. Can't type it yet. So, we're just looking at navigation, and we want to go to Iranen. That's right down the bottom there.
You won't get anywhere without punching in a destination first, Commander.
I'm working on it. Excuse me. I'm talking. So, the same controls that you use to navigate the return to surface and launch buttons will navigate you around here. So we've got left and right there, and using the left we can hit into this panel. Sorry, it was right, wasn't it? And up and down gives us access to Iranen, which we then use the target button to activate, or spacebar, and then lock it.
Right. Now that your target is locked in, you're clear to make the jump to hyperspace.
Then,
Point your ship at the target and charge up your FSD.
and the same panel that you use to get to the nav panel is the same button you use to go back to the center. So if you use 1 on the nav, on the number pad to get there, it's 1 to get back. Our target is down this way. The little circle just above the big sensor area will tell you where your target is. If it's a solid dot, it's in front of you. If it's a hollow dot, it's behind you. And you can see it moves as you do. I'm varying from the tutorial. Bad streamer. Okay, so we are going flat out. If you're not flat out at this point, if I just throttle back, once it's finished charging, it'll tell you that you have to throttle up to engage. So, we're flat out. Again, I'm varying from the tutorial. This isn't helping my case. Destination reached. Big sun.
Welcome to Iranen, Commander.
Maneuver to avoid collision.
Just don't show any support for the Federation, and you should get on fine with the locals. My contact is over at Azaban City. Try not to keep him waiting too long. This guy gets a little twitchy if things don't run like clockwork.
So
Go ahead and select the station on your nav panel, then use your compass, there on the left of your radar, to orient the ship towards the destination. And just so you know, the compass indicator will show up as a solid dot when you're pointing towards your target, and hollow when you're facing away from it.
So the loading screen between the last system we were in and suddenly facing a sun.
Super Cruise approach can be tricky, Commander, so you'll want to keep an eye on your distance, speed, and alignment at the bottom left of your cockpit display. Once you're within 1,000 Ks from your target and going less than 1,000 kilometers per second, you should be safe to drop out. If you keep your speed in the blue zone, you'll be less likely to overshoot your mark. But if you do, you can always loop back around and try again.
It's literally a loading screen between instances. So the previous system we were in is one instance, this is another instance. So the jump screen is instanced. Right, let's go to the nav panel. And we are going to Azaban City. Destination, back to the main panel. So it's hollow at the moment, it's behind us. Let's just pull a loop. And there we go. Now she said to keep the throttle in the blue. That blue bar you can see as I move the slider up and down, it will go amber, blue, amber. Even some of it while in that blue bar. Your ship is not only at its safest speed when in the blue, as she said, but it's also, and she didn't say this, at its most manoeuvrable, which is handy for fighting. So well worth keeping that in mind. Again, there are some things that don't get covered in the tutorial that I think the game expects you to be able to work out and extrapolate from the tutorial. So let's keep this in the blue, and we'll head towards Azaban City. What instructions are we going to get given from here? Let's ease that speed back. No, she said keep it in the blue and we should be fine, so I'm going to do exactly that. Resist the urge to change what she's told us. Now we will get a thing come up saying safe drop or something. It'll be in blue in the middle of the screen. Slowly inching in on it. Keep things pointed at Azaban City. Because I'm not going to go into any of the more advanced tips and tricks until later on. So less than 1,000, and there we go, safe to disengage.
Within dropout range now. Disengage Super Cruise.
So same button you used to go into Super Cruise and drop out.
You made it. Be sure to request docking before you enter the station. Flight controllers take the jobs very seriously. Tend to get upset if you start trespassing.
Okay, where's the entrance? Doesn't tell you this. So let's follow their instructions and see where we go. So navigate, and we're gonna
You still haven't requested that permission to dock,
request docking,
Commander.
which is on the contacts tab there.
You're clear for approach, Commander. Just don't forget to deploy your landing gear.
I'm going to leave it a little bit later to deploy the landing gear.
You won't be putting that ship on the deck without your landing gear. I'd recommend you deploy it.
No, it told us which way to go for the target, so that's fine. Again, it's tutorial, it makes things just a little bit easier than you find in game, but that's fine, it's the tutorial, that's what it's there for. Let's use the lure to bring the ship around just a little bit tighter. I'm going to docking bay 43. Which is up there on the left. So orient ourselves around with it. And we can use the lateral thrusters up, down, left, right to finally control ourselves. Let's drop the gear now.
Be careful passing through the access corridor, Commander. And try to avoid head-on collisions with exiting ships. That cargo needs to get there in one piece.
Okay, the access corridor.
Good, you're in. You'll want to regulate your speed as you approach the landing pad. Oh, and pay attention to the docking assistance display. You'll need to make sure your ship is facing away from the entrance and that you're centered above the landing pad before you touch down. Remember, you can use your vertical and lateral thrust if you need to refine your movement.
The entry corridor she's talking about is what most players refer to as the letterbox, the rectangular-ish entryway. So let's use our lateral thrust and drop this thing onto the pad. So you've got a big dot in the middle there. Just align everything with that. And drop it down on the pad.
Nice job. I might just be able to depend on you after all. I'll be calling on your services again, I'm sure. Till next time, Commander.
Anything else do we need to do? Nope, that has completed the training. Excellent. What's next? Combat training. Okay. New pilots should watch these pilot training videos. Basic flight, basic combat. Well, we're not doing that because we don't want to spend a lot of time watching training videos for a game. We do that enough for our jobs. So let's take a look at this. Pay attention, rookie. This training scenario involves ship-to-ship combat. The objective is to engage and destroy the wanted contact on your sensors. Be aware that once engaged, the target will return fire. Okay. Once again, we're in our Sidewinder. And once again, I will reiterate that the Sidewinder is a basic ship.
I've got a tip-off for you, Commander. Potential bounty hunting opportunity. The target should be passing through this sector soon. Don't worry, you got this. There he is, right on time. Don't get too excited, though. Before you engage, you need to make sure he still has a bounty on his head. Target his ship to scan him.
Okay, target. And you can see the scanner doing its thing on the left there. I'm not pushing any buttons, that's happening automatically. And we can see he's wanted.
He's definitely your mark. Time to deploy your hard points, Commander.
Okay, it's telling you what button to push to deploy hard points, so that's fine.
Weapons hot. Concentrate your primary fire on the target, Commander.
Okay, it's already selected primary fire, so...
Your little friend here has a combat rank of harmless. Seems to have left the hangar without any shields, so you should be able to make light work of him.
We've only got a multi-cannon available to us at the moment, so let's let him. Keep on him. Okay, the gun's reloading. I'm going to keep on him.
Just a few hits should do it, Commander. You've got this one.
And there we go. He is toast.
Target destroyed.
Nice work, Commander. You're about 3,000 credits richer. Bad news is, it looks like his buddy is out for
Just on the
revenge.
map there.
This target might put up more of a fight, so I'd say more firepower's in order. Might want to switch to your secondary fire group to bring your pulse laser online.
Let's get that pulse laser up, please.
It would be much easier to dispatch this
I'm going
target
to
with
push
the pulse
both fire
lasers.
buttons.
Switch your fire group.
Switch fire group.
To really gain the upper hand in combat, use the ship's power distribution to its full potential. Shifting the power between systems, engines, and weapons will mean you have power where you need it, when you need it. This target won't put up much of a fight, so I'd suggest you put full pips to weapons.
Full pips to weapons, okay. Again, button there showed us which one to do. Use tab or D for engine boost. Okay, engine boost, that's what he's using there. Give us a bit of a boost.
Stay on him, Commander. There's not a lot of fight left in it.
Oh, look at that. 1%. Got to get his shields up now. There he goes.
Target destroyed.
Job done.
I'm impressed, Commander. Just remember, it pays to know your enemy. Not all targets will crumble so easily, so I suggest you choose your fights wisely.
Okay. Basic combat training completed. Let's take a look at advanced combat training. Aggressive skilled pilots, and using your K-warrant scanner to collect your full reward. We haven't touched on a K-warrant scanner yet, so I wonder where they've mapped it. You can configure your own fire groups once you set up your ship. So if you want to fire all weapons with one trigger, you
Bounty
can.
hunting can be a lucrative business, Commander, if you're willing to put up with the
Target
occupational hazards. You've got a wanted
No
target
control
up
yet.
ahead. If I'm right, this one should have a hefty bounty on his head in a neighboring system.
Okay, now we've got
Target their ship and move within scanner range. Then use your kill warrant scanner to check if they're wanted elsewhere. If they are, you'll be rewarded with a few more bounty vouchers to cash in.
Okay, so the kill warrant scanner is on my main trigger. So, main trigger. And you can see the scanner working out. He's trying to get out the scan because he knows he's being scanned.
Scan the target, Commander.
Scan
There could be
complete.
some credits to be made here. Good job. As I suspected, this guy's a bit of a troublemaker. You know what to do, Commander. Take him out.
Right. It's not saying to change weapon groups, but obviously we need to. Oh, there we go. Switch fire group. So, ooh, okay. On our secondary
You'll
fire, we
want to
have
plan
seeker
your attack
missiles.
carefully. Make sure you use your fire groups for quickly switching between different weapon configurations. Remember, it's best to wait till their shields are offline before hitting them with your missiles.
Good to know. So we can use the pulse laser to bring his missile down. That's on our primary trigger. And we've got our secondary trigger for seeker missiles. There are no tertiary triggers or beyond. It's not like MechWarrior in that respect. Let's bring him down, because we've only got 6 missiles in the seekers, so pulse lasers bring his shields down. Now you can use your lateral and vertical thrusters to give yourself tighter turns when you're fighting. Shields down. Let's drop a missile on him. Have another one. There we go.
Target is down. Don't celebrate just yet, though, Commander. You've got multiple hostiles inbound to your location. This is far from over.
And they aren't messing around, do they?
Pay attention to your radar to get a feel for where your targets are. Keeping them out of your blind spots is always a good plan. And if you find yourself caught up in the fray, switch your fire group and deploy chaff as a countermeasure. This'll prevent gimbaled weapons getting a lock on you for a short period.
Why couldn't you have said that before? Okay, this is not going so well. Really not going so well. I've got to reload these because we are pretty much toast at this point. Reload those missiles. Okay.
That's some good shooting, Commander. All targets have been dispatched. Keep this up and you'll have attained elite status before you know it.
Okay, there we go, we got him. That was close though. Just following the instructions, that's actually a pretty tough fight. And I don't like their configuration, but that's a personal thing. So that's combat. What do we have next on the training agenda? How are we doing for time? We've got half an hour in training already, okay. Mining training.
Hello again, Commander. You know, being a combat pilot isn't the only way to make a living. Sometimes it's a good option to retreat to an asteroid belt for some mining. You never know. If you strike a rich vein of ore, there could be some credits to be made. I've been told this particular belt has some valuable ore on offer. So let's get to work. If you deploy your hard points, I'll wait here and keep an eye out for any pirate activity. Whoa, okay. It looks like you've maxed out your power plant. No need to panic. Your ship has insufficient power for all your active modules. The shield generator is probably draining the most juice, so you better deactivate it by disengaging it in your modules panel.
Okay, it's telling us how to navigate the modules panel there. That's fine. We've got 10 minutes to work this out before we run out of air. So, let's go to our right-hand panel. Navigate to modules. and she said to take the shields offline.
Just so you know, your oxygen will eventually deplete. No pressure, but clock's ticking.
So she's saying that we turn it off. There is a
First
better way
things
to
first,
handle that.
you need to approach one of these rocks. So pick a rock, any rock.
What I recommend people do is play with the numbers, because you can tier your power settings, but we're not going to touch that. That, I think, is probably a more advanced lesson. We've turned the shields off for now.
Don't be overwhelmed by the options, Commander. They're all pretty much the same.
Okay, let's pick ourselves a big rock.
Right. Let's take a chunk out of this asteroid.
Yeah.
Point and shoot, Commander.
Okay, so again, the mining
Good
lasers...
job. A chunk is broken off. If you target it, you'll be able to scoop it up. Palladium. You got lucky, Commander. You're gonna need to deploy your cargo scoop if you want to retrieve the fragment.
Okay, again, it's a custom map button, so I want home to deploy the cargo scoop. There we go.
Now keep an eye on the cargo scooping reticule to the left of your radar. Make sure your speed's under 40 and use this to guide your ship in gently to scoop up the ore.
Under 40. It's far faster than I would normally scoop at. Though I'm terrified of scooping and I suck at it.
Take it slow at first, Commander. You'll get there. Good job. The ore's safely on board.
Yay.
Now you need to fill up your hopper with enough of the stuff to be able to refine one canister. Why don't you keep mining this asteroid until you have enough ore? Once your resource bin is full, your refinery should kick into action. And then, you'll have a canister of pure palladium in your cargo hold. Ka-ching.
Again, we can use lateral thrusters to make this a little bit easier, or more difficult depending on your flying ability. Okay. And then we go back and do it all over again. Mining is actually a lot easier than this because you don't need to go and pick up every rock as it comes out. That one's running away from us. Yikes.
You'll need to collect a few more chunks of ore before your hopper is full, Commander.
I'm working on it. There are things called collector drones. Wait a sec, we're going to destroy that thing in a minute. That's what we get for talking and not concentrating. We got this, we got this, we got this. Yes, we got it.
Congratulations on a job well done, Commander. This palladium should fetch a good price when you get back to port. You know, if you decide to make a go at mining, you might want to think about picking up some collector drones.
There we go.
And believe me, they'll greatly increase your productivity.
Oh yeah. Greatly. They're fire and forget. You just keep mining and your collector drones go out and pick up all the mining bits and pieces. Much, much easier. Okay, so that's mining training done. What's next? SRV training. Okay. So the SRV is the buggy. Oh, we're in a DBX this time.
Got another job for you, Commander. A little clandestine operation. You're gonna have to get your tires dirty on terra firma. I'll explain the details as we go, but first you better deploy your landing gear and get this diamond back on the ground. Try to pick a spot out of range of that settlement just ahead of you. You're gonna need to infiltrate it later, so if they can't see you coming, it's a bonus.
Okay, gear down. So there is a settlement there. No, I will not do advanced
This is some
stuff.
rugged terrain, so it may take some time to find a suitable spot to touch down. Slow, incremental movements are best here, Commander.
Now, as it happens, we're right over a safe landing point, or we were. The blue circle on the ground means that it's safe to land here.
If you're having trouble, just keep an eye on the terrain scanner. When the ship indicator goes blue, means you've got a suitable landing area.
There we go. Just to show you what it looks like when we don't, I just find a non-suitable landing area. There we go. It goes red and you get a message in the screen, unsuitable terrain. And we're down.
Great, you're on the ground. Now comes the fun part, Commander. Open up your roll switch panel, select your Scarab SRV, and deploy it.
3 to access the roll switch panel. There we go. So we're going to select the Scarab SRV. Again, same as navigating all the other panels. It's the same buttons. And we're going to deploy. We don't need details. We can just go straight to deploy.
Okay, you got wheels on the ground. Now you need to get the SRV clear of the ship before it becomes fully operational.
Okay.
Gravity will affect the way your SRV handles. I'm reading only about 0.1 of a G, so bear that in mind before you hit any bumps. The more wheels you have on the ground, the easier that thing is to control. And hey, you can use your vertical thrusters if you get into trouble. Handy way to jump over obstacles, too.
Now it's worth noting that where we've parked, you see now we came out the
Okay,
back
I've
of
set a
it.
waypoint for the nearby settlement. You're going in under the radar, so try not to draw too much attention.
She looks kind of like a firefly from there. Yeah, so you come out of the back of the SRV, you need to recover via the back as well. And you come out of the back facing backwards. So as an advanced tip, which they probably won't cover in any of the tutorials, if you need to do something in an SRV, it's generally better to land with your backside facing where you're actually going to be going with the SRV. Now we do have vertical thrusters, but they haven't, I think, enabled them or something. We can do stuff with vertical thrusters at some point, I'm sure. Buggies are a great fun thing to bimble around with on Planet Side. I spent way too many hours just bimbling around in a buggy when I could have been doing more productive stuff. Now you'll see the scanner just above the little radar. It's indicating that there's something up ahead. We know that something is the settlement that we're going towards. But that scanner will tell you of things of interest, not just settlements or outposts or whatever. It'll pick up materials that you can recover, much like mine got on Planet Side.
Your primary objective here is to disable the power grid by hacking the data link. Before you do that, though, you'll need to take out the local defenses. You can destroy the generator using your turret-mounted multi-cannon.
I don't actually want to fire the turret just yet, because I want to... There's a turret mounted... Okay, there's a turret there, a turret there. Okay, we've got 2 turrets. Let's get that.
If you're having trouble finding the generator, just follow the waypoint, Commander. It's not far.
What else have we got around here? There's another turret. So we've got 2 defense turrets which we need to take out. I don't particularly want to give them both line to return fire on us, so I'm going to go back to them. Sometimes the buggy can be a little tough to control and have a little bit of a mind of its own. To a point where we have just the one turret with bead on us. It should do. And the turret's auto tracked to it, so we should be good to go. Let's give it... Well, we don't need to worry, I think, about engines at this point, so let's mess with the power and give ourselves shields and weapons. And here we go. It's not returning fire. I'm firing the turret. Let's get a little bit closer. We are slowly wearing it down. Slowly. I'm firing the turret. You keep telling me to fire the turret when the turret's firing. That's demoralising. Okay. Still wants us to fire our turrets. Let's take this thing up a little bit closer. I'm firing the turrets. We need to get any closer to do a bit more damage, perhaps. Probably to make more of the shots hit. I think it's probably a better way to do it rather than taking the damage. Pick up both these turrets. There is a separate view that would make this easier, but the game didn't tell us to do that, so we're not going to. Turret destroyed. Okay. Now let's do the... Oops. Did we just banged into something? Oops. Okay, we're supposed to do something with the operations terminal? We're not firing that. What else do we need to do here? Now she said we need to hack something. Okay, there's nothing else we can target. Is there something like that? Am I supposed to mess with? I believe so, but... Firing of the SRV turret, I think we can do usefully. Not how these tracks that works in the circuit. I'm going to deploy some non-tutorial knowledge to see if I can fix this mission. So, as well as the buggy driving view, you've got a turret view. Now, as we get close to this operations terminal, which I'm pretty sure is what we have to hack, I'm going to go into the turret view, which for me is the deploy weapons button, but it might be different for you. There is a config that says deploy turret, and you can point to the button there. We're going to target that, and then there is a button to scan it, which I think is the hacking thing. So we're going to scan it. You can see it doing something. Opnet accessed. Okay. Yep, I scanned that. The turret's actually kind of cool because this is the more targeted firing of the turret that I was talking about. And you can still drive the buggy like this. It becomes like driving a tank. The turret is completely separate to the buggy. So if I was to turn the buggy, sorry, SRV, left, the turret doesn't change at all. I think we've kind of somehow balked the mission, but I'm not sure how. There's something over here. This is not what I was looking for. I will come back to this mission and try this again, I think. Let's go on and see what the fighter mission's like. Yeah, okay. Exit to main menu. Yes. We can come back and do that mission some other time. Training. Training missions. Ship launched fighter. Okay, we're in a keelback this time. Different ship.
I've set up a meeting, Commander. We're going to be exchanging some valuable cargo. Our contact should be dropping in any minute now, but listen, be on the lookout for anything strange. I can't say I fully trust who we're dealing with here, and this is a critical mission. Okay, this must be him. Wait a second, something's not right. I wasn't expecting to see a Viper. They're deploying hardpoints. Looks like we're being ambushed. This keelback won't be able to hold them off. You're gonna need to deploy the fighter to take them down. Open up the roll switch panel, select the Condor, and deploy it. This will engage the telepresence link to the fighter.
Condor, deploy.
Better hurry, Commander.
They don't give you much time to work on that one.
Great. Fighter is successfully deployed.
Okay.
You're gonna need to do your best to protect the mothership, Commander. We can't afford to lose this cargo. The Condor is much more nimble than a Viper, so you should be able to stay out of their firing line.
That's our ship. So this is a really, really agile fighter. Oh wait, look at me. Look at me. Not this looks agile. Okay. We don't want to overheat. I think we annoyed him. Really agile, I can't actually.
Target destroyed.
Well, that was a close call. I guess this time around I owe you one. You've come a long way from that stranded pilot I pulled out of an asteroid field. It's good to know I can call on you when things get dangerous. See you around, Commander.
And that's that. So let's go back to training. And let's go back and revisit the SRV one, because that was weird.
Got another job for you, Commander. A little an operation. You're gonna have to get your tires dirty on terra firma. I'll explain the details as we go, but first you better deploy your landing gear and get this diamond back on the ground. Try to pick a spot out of range of that settlement just ahead of you. You're gonna need to infiltrate it later, so if they can't see you coming, it's a bonus. This is some rugged terrain, so it may take some time to find a suitable spot to touch down. Slow, incremental movements are best here, Commander.
As it happened, they parked me right above a nice safe place to touch down.
Great, you're on the ground. Now comes the fun part, Commander. Open up your roll switch panel, select your Scarab SRV, and deploy it.
There we go. Exactly the same as deploying the fighter. Despite the complexities, they do try and keep things as similar as
Okay,
possible.
you got wheels on the ground. Now you need to get the SRV clear of the ship before it becomes fully operational. Gravity will affect the way your SRV handles. I'm reading only about 0.1 of a G, so bear that in mind before you hit any bumps. The more wheels you have on the ground, the easier that thing is to control. And hey, you can use your vertical thrusters if you get into trouble. Handy way to jump over obstacles, too. Okay, I've set a waypoint for the nearby settlement. You're going in under the radar, so try not to draw too much attention.
He was not bound to fire vertical thrusters. Apparently I haven't found that key binding yet. I do recommend you go through and, before you start playing, double check your key binding and see what's supposed to do what. And look for any holes. Hopefully I won't need to use the vertical thrusters, we shall see.
Your primary objective here is to disable the power grid by hacking the data link. Before you do that, though, you'll need to take out the local defenses. You can destroy the generator using your turret-mounted multi-cannon.
Destroy the generator. Okay, where's the generator?
If you're having trouble finding the generator, just follow the waypoint, Commander. It's not far.
That one. There's a third one coming out somewhere. Third waypoint. Or marker of some sort. Whoops. Can't see any waypoint. Let's have a look at the navigation. The contacts. Defense turret, defense turret. Well, I can't see the generator at all anywhere. Possibly I'm being a bit derpy. So there are three things here. We've got two defense turrets and an operations terminal. Can we shoot the operations terminal? Okay, we don't appear to be able to shoot the operations terminal. Ah, there's the power grid. That'll do. Full pads of weapons. Maybe we can scan the power grid and disable it. Maybe not. Maybe that's not the power grid itself. document it. There we go.
Great work. The generator's offline. You're in the clear. Now, approach the data link and target it. Then you can switch to turret view and use secondary fire to activate the data link scanner.
Okay.
Hacking this data link should kill the power grid. Just keep the target visible when you're scanning and wait for the process to complete.
Okay. It's targeted and Z for data link scanner. I'm using Z. Here we go. Wasn't targeted properly.
Power grid is offline. Your work here is done, Commander. Just remember that data is a valuable commodity, so if you're willing to take the risk, hacking data points can be worthwhile. But believe me, it always pays to have a plan of attack before you infiltrate a secure facility.
Okay, now what? Okay, we have completed all training and it's taken just under an hour. Thank you very much. If you've sat through the whole hour, congratulations to you. You are incredibly patient, especially putting through the derpiness of my first attempt at the SRV mission. YouTubers always do the whole, if you like the video, hit like and subscribe and all that lovely stuff. But to be honest, just pay me a visit on Twitch, twitch.tv/nightbites. Give me a follow there. That's where I do 99% of my stuff. Anything that I've done on Twitch will normally end up, if I like it, on my YouTube channel. It's very rare that I do a video like this that goes straight to YouTube. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Be awesome.